is on fleek. I'm gonna get to work. It's Monday. Alright, actually I should change up this camera angle a little bit. Cool. So, today is Monday, March something, 2017. What is it? It is, I can check it real quick. It is March, it's March 5th? I just checked and I forgot. Today is March 6th, Monday. It's been a good week, really good week. I was able to basically pump out episode 3 when it comes to the grunt work, the big time consuming products or time consuming tasks. Woo. Quickly, in a week. That's like a first. I'm super pumped about that. It's really, really exciting because I'm like, wow. I'm trying to keep a bi-weekly release schedule once this thing goes live with like maybe 2 episode buffer. And I'm like, oh, I can do it. This is cool. I'm able to get it down to like a week when it comes to this big stuff. The creative part, the content, the writing the script, and all that hard work. After that, send it off to the audio editor. He adds music, sound effects, whatever per my note. We'll get a rough draft back maybe like 2 days or a day. Yeah, probably 2 days. I think 2 or 3 days is a good time frame. And then we go back maybe 2 more times and then we release back and forth. Or actually he could probably send me the stems or each track, and then I could myself just add them in because I can do that. He just makes things sound pretty and sound good, but all that stuff might be done already by the first draft. So maybe I'll do that. That might be faster for our flow. That way I don't have to explain things that just like he doesn't get or that I can't explain well. Anyway, last week was super productive, super excited and pumped for this week. And then today, Monday, I was super excited. I woke up at 6. That was really cool. I woke up at 6. Actually woke up at 6. Got out of bed. I lollygagged a little bit. Like I took my time getting ready, and that was good. It was much needed. Did my quiet time. And then, this next episode I created, it's about learning. The content that I have for it just doesn't work the way I want it to. Maybe I have to search a little deeper. Maybe it's going to require more narration. But it overlaps with a lot of stuff before. And that's one of the big problems with this Ask Weldon podcast. And that's why we've created into 2 segments. Where it's Ask Weldon segment. And then there's the kind of like Weldon's journey segment where he just talks about like what he's been up to, right? Specifically in eSports and with G2. And the problem that's going on right now is that the Ask Weldon stuff, the Mac program that he's selling with it, it's pretty simple. Like a lot of concepts, it's just like 3 main points, but it takes a lot of effort and a lot of exercising, a lot of focus, a lot of concentration or whatever, and sometimes a lot of direction to be able to do well in those 3 points. So we hear a lot of the same things talked about, like, oh, I'm stuck because I can't improve, or my training regimen is not good, or oh, people are holding me back, or this is helping. And a lot of the answers are the same for all of those when it comes to a really basic part. Good thing about it is when you have these specific questions, you can address specific issues. So it's like, oh, that's an attitude issue. Oh, that's an attitude issue. Oh, that's an attitude issue for all 3 questions. But then one might be like, you need to work on your attitude issue because you are too focused on other people's mistakes. The second one could be like, oh, you need to work on your attitude issue. You need to stop worrying what people are saying about you and just focus on your performance. Or in 3 could be like, oh, you need to work on your attitude issue because you are too hard on yourself, or you're not hard enough on yourself. So that's where it kind of changes. So the way I've set up the Ask Weldon show, like maybe it will be, maybe I haven't set it up perfectly, and I just kind of want to hurry up and do it and fix mistakes as we go, as we get better, because I'm never going to perfect this right now. Sorry about the cough, guys. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that, because previous episode was about focus and keeping focus and not going into autopilot, those kind of things, and not being distracted. And by the end of it, I kind of talked a little bit about improvement and training regimens, right? And then now this next episode was about learning, which is basically getting better, which involves training regimens and focus. And I'm like, oh, how do I make it like really centered around improvement? That's a challenge. And I'm thinking that I need to put a little more space between episodes when the content is overlaps a bit. Because again, it's like, hey, you need to work on last hitting to get better. It's like, okay, I got it, right? And you work on last hitting and it's like hard and it's boring, and then you like stop. You forget about it, and later, 2 weeks later, you're like, oh, I'm not climbing, what's wrong? And oh, my CS is bad. And then you hear the podcast and you're like, oh, I need to work on last hitting. Yeah, that's right. Oh, he gave me better encouragement, because like you get discouraged, and sometimes you need that extra motivation to keep you going or to keep you reminded. So it's not a bad thing to repeat content, because one, it's not going to be exactly the same, and two, we need that constant reminder when it comes. It's kind of like an accountability. So I don't think it's a bad thing, but I don't want it back-to-back episodes, right? So I don't want to. One of the things is like romancing ideas or romancing. Romance is a bad thing in the sense that you fall in love with a way of doing something, and if you fall in love with it, you might have a hard time stopping it, right? If I loved radio, car radio, FM radio, AM radio, but now no one's listening to radio anymore, I'm going to be stuck and not moving forward with the rest of the audience, right? I'm talking this as maybe like a marketing standpoint. If I love League of Legends and I keep making content for League of Legends, and then next year new game comes out and no one is playing League of Legends anymore, well, yeah, I fill a certain niche by staying with League of Legends. But if I want to continue growing and have security and like making podcasts and creating stories, well, I need to move on from League of Legends and maybe put like 10% of my efforts onto League if I really, really am passionate about it, and then move 90% of it to the new game, right? So that's what I'm struggling with here. I'm like trying to make learning work, and I need to like put some more effort into it, like finding more clips from Weldon stuff. But ultimately, I think maybe it's a scrapped idea for episode 4. Maybe it's good for episode 7 or even 6, but for 4, don't think it works. So yeah, romancing ideas can be very dangerous when you're in an ever-evolving and changing world. And gaming is one of those. It's changing. If you play freaking League, it changes every 2 weeks. Although this season, it hasn't changed really every 2 weeks. It's been really boring patch notes. I don't know if I like that. It makes things easier as I'm not playing as much to keep up with things. So, yeah. What else can I talk about? I have this new idea for Patreon. I finished Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Jab, 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 Right Hook. And the key point of it is when you create content, when you create a brand, you want to give, and then ask, right? And the reason why you do it that way, you have to, like in boxing, you jab, 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 then finally when you knock them out, big hit, you right hook it, right? So same thing with selling. You want to give, then ask. A lot of companies, a lot of people ask, or demand. Why would they give you something that you're demanding for or asking for? In most cases, it's money, right? Or purchasing a product. For me, I'm not really sure what my ask is. I think my ask is like, yeah, donate something for the Patreon so I can do this. and subscribe to the podcast. That's a big ask. Just subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast, because I want to grow our audience. So the give when it comes to Patreon. I've been thinking about this, and I'm like, I just want to create content, good content, and I want to give it to people. And I think we make good content. No, I know we make good content for certain league players. No. We make good content, period. So what can I... So I want to continue giving, because I like what I'm doing. I like how I'm giving. I'm liking our content that we're creating. So I'm thinking about changing our Patreon model. Thinking about, you donate $1, you get all the rewards. And I'm not asking much, $1 a month. I really don't think it's an ask. Yeah, I really don't think it's an ask. I was thinking about like maybe just getting rid of Patreon, having 0. Or, I mean, you have to give something minimum, and a penny is not really worth it. It's a waste of everyone's time. It's a waste of your transfer. Like it's a waste. So just have the entrance level $1, and basically all I'm trying to do is that, like, hey, you are now a patron. You are labeled as someone that's supporting the podcast financially, right? And I really don't think it's like asking. I'm not gonna get like 100 people giving $1. I don't think that's gonna happen. But what I really care about is that you donate whatever you want to keep the podcast afloat, right? We lost like $50 in patrons this last month. Whatever. I'm fine with that. I was really looking forward to it because I want to make video content, and for video content, I need to find someone that is willing to make it for free, or that I can pay. I'm making enough money on Patreon to pay. So I'm thinking about making Patreon entrance $1, and with that $1, you get everything. The catch is that we only can do so much, so it's first come, first serve, / the higher you donate, the higher in the queue you are. So if we want to do replay reviews, which we don't get much, and I want to do lane training. Lane training, I think, is the best thing that we've done on Patreon. I think it's genius. So with that, if we have 10 people bring in replay reviews, well, we only can do 5 a month or something. That's an arbitrary number. We only can do 5 a month. Well then, if that's the case, then we will deal with the patrons that gave $20 first, or the people that put in the replays first. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll have you upload your replay and first come, first serve. And with little special perks to the people that donate a lot. Like, if they ask, I'm willing to give. I really want to give. Because I think our base will really appreciate that we just, hey, we're doing replay reviews for practically free. We are doing them for free right now, just no one's taking advantage of them. So I think I want to move our Patreon model to that. I'll do sketches for everyone. I don't care. I know Blake was complaining earlier, like a year ago, about doing sketches. They're just, like, they're not worth the $1 of his time, which I understand. But again, I want to create content for you guys. I want to create content for the league community, because the league community is awesome. So I think I'm going to change the Patreon model to that, to emulate that give. I don't know what the ask is. Probably the ask is like, hey, every time we do this, oh yeah, there's the ask. Whatever we do for you, share it. Share it on social media, and use the hashtag, like, you tag us at Lola Podcast. I think I just came up with the ask. Yeah, I think I'm going to change the Patreon model to that. I have a good feeling about this, and I'll probably do that. I'll do that starting this month, March. March has already started. I don't care. I'm just going to do it because it benefits everyone. All right. See you guys. Thanks for watching Just Casual Vlogs.